Good morning, folks. This is Mr. Wallace, your driver education instructor for the summer. And I would like to welcome all of you to this short video that's going to cover the in-car parent guidance for you to get you started. And first of all, let me take a moment to thank you for your commitment to your children and your children's safety and to the safety of our community as a whole. This is a year with a larger commitment by the parents. You guys are the instructors in the car. And there's a lot more responsibility on your shoulders this year than ever before. And I know probably many of you are hoping that with your younger child, this will never happen again. And I don't think it will, to be honest. I think this is going to be the one and only summer with parents doing the in-car instruction. But without further ado, let me get started. Okay, and I will be your guide at the side as I have here. And I am available to you for questions and concerns, and I realize you do have them. When I would like to get a list from your school's probably principal or guidance counselor with your email addresses on it. And when there is a question, I'll probably shoot out a group email to everybody to, with the answer. That way, if one person's asking the question, usually there's around 5 other people that have the same question in their mind and still haven't asked it yet. With that being said, let's get right started with this. Okay, so help is along the way here, and it comes in the form of Children's Hospital of Philadelphia's resources. Okay, what I call CHOPS, and I'll reference it as CHOPS from now on. And they do have a great parent-guided in-car instruction guidance program for us as parents. It is comprehensive and addresses all the goals of the course and how they should be done. Okay, so please don't hesitate to get started familiarizing yourself with a couple things here, okay, to get us really, get us really started. So the parent-teen driving log, which is it's going to be right here. Okay. So the parenting driving log is one of the essential parts of your part of the course. Okay. So I'm going to come back to it in just a minute because there's going to be quite a bit more to it. And the checklist is going to be another huge part, which I believe is this one right here. Nope, that's an example of it. Okay, and we have the checklist. Okay, and this will all kind of make sense as we go further in this video. You can find both these documents. You can find the guide, and please get started right here as soon as possible, like literally when you stop watching this video. Please take a look at the guide, okay? And then also get an idea of the videos that, again, this is all through CHOPS, that they provide for us. They also are in our library of videos in our YouTube channel, okay? Logging your driving experience. Okay, so please start this immediately with your child. In order for your child to get credit for the course, he or she must spend at least 1,440 minutes. That's 24 hours total with you in the car learning. That's a minimum. Now, it gets even worse. New York State is picky about how you do the drives and how many minutes you can log in on any one day. Okay, here are the rules. And as you log your minutes with your child, right back in the log here, you're going to be logging them in right in here. If they aren't logged in correctly, New York State will not allow me to sign off on it, and I'll have to send the log back to you for revision. Okay, and this takes time. And we don't have a lot of time in this course. We're literally going Monday through Thursday every week for like 4 weeks. So we really don't have more than around, guys, I haven't counted the numbers, but I think it's around I think it's less than 30 days to do the entire course. Okay, I think it's like around. I think it might only be 29. Okay. Okay, so this is for New York City teen drivers. They cannot drive in the 5 boroughs without a dual brake in their car. Um, I'm going to skip over that part. Your child must do at least 6 out of 24 hours behind the wheel, okay, with his hands actually on the wheel doing the driving. The other 18 hours of that 24 can be done in what we call observation time. That's when you are demonstrating and they are watching and learning. Okay, or they can do more time than the minimum of 6 behind the wheel. Okay, it's your choice. On the log, you must distinguish between observation time and behind the wheel time in the appropriate box. So you can see here, and this is our log. Okay, the first page does have, you're going to have to fill it out with student name, student driver's license number, your signature, and the date. Okay, and in the log, you're going to have, I'm going to skip over this first page, and we'll do it right here. Okay, so you're going to have to put the date. You're going to put the total amount of observation time that the child did for that date. You're going to put the total amount of behind the wheel time that your child did for that date. You're going to say what kind of practice location. This is going to be an environment. We'll talk to you about that in a little bit. You can check off whether or not it happened in darkness or in bad weather. And you will have to put a goal here, okay? And that's going to come from the checklist. And then you're going to have to give an overall drive rating, okay? So our little rubric for what to assign a 4, a 3, a 2, or a 1 is right here, okay? And I have a more in-depth video about the log and how to do it in our library of YouTube videos. So I'm going to leave that part in a different part, okay? But that's what we're going to do with our log, okay? So there is a part for both observation and behind the wheel time. On the log, only put 1 entry per date, please. And if you did many short drives on a single date, please just add them up and enter them into each category, either behind the wheel or observation. Please don't put in multiple entries for one single date, okay? The New York State DMV does not allow me to give credit for more than 90 minutes per entry in the log, okay? So you're only putting in 1 entry per date. I can only give 90 minutes per date per 24 hours, okay? So please make sure, please be aware of that when you're filling out the log, that you can't just do 24 hours of driving time with your child in like 1 week and fill, and then just submit the log. New York State will not allow me to sign off on that. Okay, it has to be distributed over a minimum of 16 drives. Okay, make sure each entry is an increment of 15 minutes. Okay, so 15, 30, 45, 60, 90 minutes. We prefer increments of 30 minutes or 60 minutes. That's what we prefer. Just so you know, it's easier for us to count the minutes at the end. There must be at least 16 entries in the log. Okay, again, I can only count 90 per date. There must be at least 16. If you multiply 90 minutes by 16 entries, it comes out to 24 hours or 100 or 1,440 minutes. You can only count entries during the dates of the course. Be especially aware of that. It puts a lot of pressure on you folks to do the driving during the dates of the course itself. Okay. Your name, signature, date, your child's name, and your child's permit number need to be on the log. We talked about that. Scan or take a picture of the log and send it to me to my address. for evaluation, right? Here's my address right here, mr.wallace.driver.ed@gmail.com. It's pretty easy to remember after saying it one time or two times, okay? It must be sent to me by July 26th. This gives me enough time to look it over and send it back to you if there are any revisions. Okay, our last day of class is July 29th. Sending in the log later than this is going to not only delay, it's just the way it works out for driver education. It won't just delay your child's MV 285, it will delay the entire class's MV 285 because it is sent in as a roster to New York State. We can't send it in until we've gotten the logs from you. Each entry of the log must have an evaluation. Okay, so giving a 1 is 65%, a 2 is 75%, a 3 is 85%, a 4 is 95%. Please, no decimals. Okay, and round down if necessary. If you want to put a decimal, just round down. A 0 equals 60%. That's a failure. Okay, a blank equals 60%. Again, a failure. Your child needs to pass with at least a 65%. I recommend setting as your driving lesson goal at least 1 hour and 15 minutes per day. 1 hour and 15 minutes per day will get it done by July 26th. You will have to complete the driver experience by July 26th and sign and scan and email it back to me. Only in exceptional cases will I accept the log any later than July 26th. I'd prefer that you send me the log instead of your child sending it to me. It just looks more professional. I am always available for questions and concerns that you may have. I realize the amount of commitment this requires on your side. I really do. And I wish we could run a program that would last for 8 or 10 weeks to make it a lot easier on you to do the in-car instruction. I truly do. Dual brake resources. If I know that this is designed for our students who are in New York City. However, I can't endorse this wing brake, but if you are a parent and you want to get some more control in the car, maybe you feel you feel scared in the car with your child driving, take a look at this at the wing brake. Okay, now you're probably just going to have to Google search it in Amazon. It's like $95. I think you can watch it. There's a video on YouTube about it as well. But it's kind of like a makeshift dual brake that you can operate with your hand, which will give you a bit more control over your teen driver. Okay. Before setting off, 3 necessary steps. Okay, identify with your child what the goal of the lesson will be. It is definitely okay to simply practice for the entire lesson, and this will definitely become more and more the case after the 6th week. I usually run an 8-week program. We're not even going to get into the 6th week with the summer. I haven't changed this yet. So we probably will not. We are going to get you. Obviously, it's going to become more like practice instead of, new material for your child, even with 4 weeks. But this is really a condensed program. My recommendation is, even though you can't log the times in before the start of the course, I would certainly recommend you get started right away. We have basically a month before the course starts. And if you can get your child off and driving and feeling comfortable in easy areas like the residential areas, then you're going to be much more on track with your child coming into the actual course time. Okay, so anyway, you want to locate an area that looks like a good place to demonstrate and practice the maneuvers safely. Okay, and I recommend early mornings and weekends for introducing your child to new driving environments. Newer drivers, we don't want them to be driving near moving vehicles at the beginning, right? So a good place to be is in a parking lot early in the morning when there's no other vehicles there, or any vehicles that are there are parked. Same with residential roads. When you're introducing your child to the highway for the first time, please do it in the early morning when there are no cars, or I don't know, on the weekends when there's no cars on that highway. Decide what percentage, minutes, you will demonstrate in the percentage in minutes your child would practice, and be flexible enough to change depending on how the lesson's going. In advance, decide when and where you will pull over to change drivers, and where to stop and review. Okay, there should be some review every time you go for a drive, and count that as time. Log it in the log. Plan at least one review in your drives, at least one review. Plan on getting out of your car and demonstrating multiple times and changing drivers. Yes, the review time in the car counts in the log. Please log it. And yes, your demonstration time counts in the log as well. Please log that time. Okay, getting there. Depending on where you live, you as a parent instructor may need to drive to the target location. Use that time for demonstrating and discussing maneuvers with your child, as it can also count towards observation time. Okay, truly dedicate this experience to your one child. Please avoid the temptation to do chores. Allow your child to fool around on the phone, daydream, pick up and drop off any other people, etc. Okay, we do have teens, we all know them, who think they know what they're doing, and you need to show them that they don't. Okay, and if you need me to get involved, please let me know. Okay, expect your child to stay engaged through the entire drive to the location area, and during the entire drive period. His or her in-car attitude should be reflected in your evaluation score for the drive. Okay, and I hope this will be one of your great bonding experiences. I really do. And please don't hesitate to take your child out for a bite to eat or some ice cream during or after the drive. Okay, just don't drive and eat. And with that being said, please, God, this is the one time when you should be modeling. If you don't, modeling good driving behavior. Please resist the urge to drink coffee while you're driving with one hand. Okay, please resist the urge to drive with one hand. Please resist the urge to do anything on your phone. Okay, please resist the urge to roll through stop signs, for example. Okay, and come to full stops. Come to full stops in the proper place. Creep up from the proper place. Please demonstrate good driving behavior, good defensive driving behavior. There are 6 environments that go along with the lesson plans and go along with the CHOPS videos and the CHOPS parent guidance. Okay, so your log has identified 6 different driving environments, and they are parking lots, residential neighborhoods. I'm moving down. Intermediate roads, commercial roads, highways, and rural roads. Okay, and if you go right up to the checklist, this is for you. You have to do this and send it back to me. Okay, just put your name and sign it at the top. Put a date. I did not put those lines in there. Please just do so. Each one of these, we have the basics, right? And that goes with the videos too. But then we get into the driving environments, okay? And each driving environment has goals for you to check off, okay? So, and what we want to see is a progression from the basics and then parking lot maneuvers to getting into residential areas, right? Residential roads, and then on to intermediate roads, and then on to commercial roads. And I'm going to say, please, guys, leave the commercial roads for last. That's your busy, kind of downtown roads, okay, with a lot of stuff happening. Let's leave those for last, guys. A lot of us in upstate are going to need to start getting going with country roads. Okay. And there's a lot on lane positioning with country roads. Okay. And we can get started pretty early on highways too. So there's a lot of speed on highways, but there's also a lot of straightaway driving. And also I can see on some of these with the different for highway, for example, space cushion is something we're going to practice in different environments. Okay. Please review this early and at your earliest convenience. And you will need to check those goals off, put them on the log, and send in both those, the checklist and the log. Okay. Okay. The course video clips you could start right here at this one right here, which should be this one right here. Okay. So this is the introduction to the course. I have a longer introduction to the course, which somehow or another just played up already. Same one. Okay, and let me get you started. Let me just show you the videos for chops. Okay, so they're all right here. They come in their own playlist. However, they're also in our library as well. Okay, so the way this looks to you right now is going to look different than to me. Okay, but anyway, our library is divided into playlists, and there's a playlist for parents. There's lesson number 1, beginning of the course, and unfortunately I haven't figured out how on YouTube to put them in order, but all the lessons are here, including even makeup lessons that we'll talk about in a bit. Please access these. Please take advantage of the videos. They are definitely here to give you guidance and to help you properly instruct your teen in the car. Okay. Always attempt to verbalize what is going through your brain while you're driving. Okay. Some things, and as you get going with the videos and the checklist, it's going to be a little more easy for you to know what you're going to discuss. Okay. So, for example, and then expect this from your teen too. Okay. You can even ask yourself in the beginning, what is my space cushion in front of me? What are my outs around me? How much space cushion do I have behind me? And what is my lane position here? What is the weather conditions right now? How are the road conditions right now? And what's the road surface condition right now? Once you start asking yourself these questions and answering them to yourself out loud, right, for your teen to hear, it will get a little easier for you to be asking these of your teen as well. Okay, let's continue. We talked about the checklist already, right? That's the one right up here. Okay, here's our checklist. Okay. If you see that your lesson is breaking down, it's just too demanding for your teen at that time, recover. Okay. Decide to sometimes you do just need to hang it up and go home for the day. However, we would love to see you get your time in that you've allocated for the day. So revert back to maneuvers that your child has already demonstrated some mastery of or close to mastery of, and practice those for the rest of the drive. It's okay. Okay. We definitely do not want you pushing your teen beyond his or her ability. And we recognize that this is a progression of things. Okay. So don't overdo it. If the whole entire checklist, if you have attempted the checklist, this is what we want. We want the attempt. Okay. We want the honest attempt at the checklist. Do we want mastery of the checklist? No, that's not what we're looking here for here. Okay. Your child passes with a 65%. So we want attempt. Okay. So if you, and please don't attempt anything that you don't feel comfortable with your teen driver attempting at that moment. Okay. We need to progress and build up to it. Okay. Sometimes you'll see that you have a maneuver that you were planning on doing with your child, and your child nails it, pretty early. Okay. Please bring along your checklist and start thinking about moving on to another maneuver or possibly moving into another environment. Okay. Or practicing that one for the day and moving on the next day to the next maneuver. Okay. Remember, July 26th is a big day for us. Please have your log signed and sent to me by July 26th. Okay. And you can stay connected with me in several different ways. Okay. So one of them is through LinkedIn right here. I really don't use my Twitter feed very much. However, if we find that this is the best way for us to communicate with each other, maybe we'll do that as a group. I have not done that yet. And please, please, please stay on top of the videos by going right to our library of videos, our channel, and starting to review right with the basics from CHOPS. Okay, you can go right to lesson number 1 and start reviewing those videos. And guys, because we have such limited time, go ahead and get started with your driving with your teen. Okay, so take a look at the first videos, get in the parking lot with your teen and get going with it. Okay. If you don't feel comfortable until after the course starts to do anything more than the parking lot or residential roads, that's fine. But at least you've gotten your teen going in the right direction. You've used this month productively. Okay, so that's everything in this course for you guys. Again, if you do have questions, I'm going to probably start sending them. Oh, let me also show you our classroom. Okay, so the classroom is going to look like, well, let me bring up a new one or an old one. That way we can see what they look like. This is going to be what your students' classroom. Let me go back to the other one. Let me go back to session 2. This is a completed course here. Okay, so your child is going to, we do this on Google Classroom. There's a code that your child will get. Okay, and he's going to be invited to join our class. Have your child, right when you enroll, have your child join our classroom. Okay, all the videos. If he goes to classwork, he'll see that there's a bunch of different topics right here on the left-hand side. He or she can go to, for example, the videos, okay? And they're going to be all designated as this. And there's a lot of them. You have to scroll through them, okay? So lesson 1 videos are right here, and we can get started right with that, okay? So introduction to the course, drive smart, extra stuff, the parent-teen driving log, and then we have our CHOPS videos, the basics, right, in the parking lot. Okay, more of the basics. More on the basics. Okay, and you can really get started right away with that. Okay, I should have absolutely everything up and running within the next 4 or 5 days. Definitely by the end of next weekend, the entire course will be up and ready for your child to access. Okay, in the course we will also have quizzes. We'll have a quiz after every lesson. They're to be done at home after the lesson. They usually take around 20 minutes to do, if not less. Your child will receive an attendance question at the beginning of every class. And if they do not answer it, they will be marked absent. So it's important that they are at class on time. The attendance question doesn't stay up very long, and that they answer the attendance question. Okay, let's see what else. There's also a welcome letter for your child. There are New York State documents that will become important as the course goes along, especially the MV 262. But there's videos on that, and well, they'll be learning about that towards the end of the class. Okay, they'll also have a syllabus that I'm going to go over with them, and that's the log itself right there. Okay, so I think we covered everything, and again, allow me to thank you. First of all, this course really will save someone's life. It may be your child's, it might be yours, it might be someone else in the car with your child behind the wheel. It might be another road user. We may never know, but I guarantee you this course, your child taking this course and taking this seriously, and with your help as the in-car instructor, will save someone's life and your child's driving career. So with that, I truly do thank you for your commitment to your child's safety, to your safety, and to all of ours as a community, to our safety on the roads. Thank you very much. Have a great day. And I always say this, drive safely.